Hey all, hope everybody are doing good and welcome back to Homeschool, and we are with class 11 chemistry. The chapter is hydrocarbons. In our previous video, we have just started with alkenes where I discussed everything about isomerism of alkene. We have seen how chain and position isomers were possible for alkene. Not only that, we have seen very important type of isomerism that can be observed in alkene is geometrical isomerism, that is cis and trans isomer. Okay, so coming to today's video, I am starting with preparation methods of alkene. In my next video, I will come up with chemical properties or chemical reactions of alkene. So coming to preparations, so there are four major methods of preparing alkenes. The first one is you can prepare from alkynes. You can prepare alkenes from alkynes. So this is the first method. And second method, you can prepare alkenes from alkyl halides. Alkyl halides. Okay. So third method is preparation of alkenes from vicinal dihalides. Vicinal dihalides. So actually vicinal dihalides is a type of alkyl halides itself. Clear? And coming to the fourth method, you can prepare from alcohols also. Right? So now we are going to study the reactions one by one in a detailed way. Let us first prepare alkenes from alkynes. So this is really a very important reaction that you need to understand because there is a slight variation here. Let me take an alkyne, CH3C triple bond CCH3. Okay, so what do you call this alkyne as? Butane, isn't it? It is actually 2-butane. So for this, I will try to add hydrogen. Okay, so how do we prepare alkenes from alkynes? Actually by adding hydrogen. By adding hydrogen. So addition reactions are going to take place here. Okay, one atom is added to one carbon, the other atom is added to another carbon having triple bond, isn't it? But this reaction can take place in two different ways. This is really very important. If I use a catalyst palladium over barium sulfate, okay, this is called as Lindlar's catalyst. So the name of this catalyst is called Lindlar's catalyst. Okay. So when we take this catalyst, we actually get cis alkene. You see here. So I'll add one hydrogen to one carbon, the other hydrogen to another carbon, right? So you will get the product CH3H I added to this carbon. Triple bond will become double bond. Right, and then CH3 I'll write here which was already there on this carbon, and the other H that was added I'll write it here. You see, same groups on same side, right? Two CH3 groups are on same side, two hydrogen atoms are on same side. So what is this? This is cis alkene. So what is the name of alkene? I can call it as cis 2-butene, isn't it? So there are two isomers for alkenes, cis isomer, trans isomer. So if you use palladium over barium sulfate, the catalyst is called with the name Lindlar's catalyst. Okay, fine. But if I use sodium in liquid ammonia, if I use sodium over liquid ammonia, then I will get the alkene something like this. CH3, so one hydrogen that gets added to this carbon, I wrote it here, and the other hydrogen that gets added to this carbon, I wrote it up, the other CH3 at the bottom. Okay, so this is, you see, same groups are there on opposite side. So this is trans alkene. Here you got trans variety. So trans 2-butene you will get here. Okay. So this is how, two types of isomers you will get. Which isomer that you are going to get always depends on what catalyst you have used here. Okay. So if you use Lindlar's catalyst, you get cis isomer. If you use sodium over liquid ammonia, you get trans isomer. Okay. So now, suppose if I have just CH, triple bond CH. Okay. So for this, if I add hydrogen, I'll add hydrogen. And here, what will be the catalyst that you can use? You can use any catalyst here. Okay. So whichever catalyst you use there, you get the same product. So what is the product you will get? CH2 double bond CH2. Ethene you will get. To observe cis and trans isomer, at least, the groups that are present on carbon, each carbon must be different. Okay, must be different, right? So you can't differentiate which is cis and which is trans here. You can't put cis and trans structures for that alkene, right? And another question, you have propyne. So propyne is what? CH3, C triple bond CH. So for propyne, in case if I add hydrogen, so what is the product that you are going to get? See, if I use Lindlar's catalyst, suppose here if I use Lindlar's catalyst, tell me what is the product that you can get. You can try it in your notebook and later check it with the answer that I write. CH3, C, 1H I'll keep it here, right? So double bond C, H, H. So this is what the alkene you will get. Suppose if I use sodium over liquid ammonia. So what is the product that you are going to get? CH3, CH, okay. So here both are hydrogens, right? The same alkene you are getting. So there is no point of difference here. You can't say which is cis and which is trans because one of the carbon has got same groups. So at least one group, I mean you should have different groups on the carbon atoms. Only then you can able to tell which is cis and which is trans. So for propyne, whatever may be the catalyst you use, same type of alkene you will get. But if the alkene, if the alkyne is something like this, see 2-butyne, then you will have chance of getting cis and trans. When do you get cis? When you use Lindlar's catalyst. When do you get trans? And when you use sodium over liquid ammonia. Okay. So this differentiation is very, very important. This is how we can prepare alkenes from alkyne. So this category we have completed. Now let us go how to prepare alkenes from alkyl halides. See guys, first you must understand what do you mean by the word alkyl halides. Alkyl halides are the compounds which have a general formula Rx. Here X can be any halogen, like it can be F, it can be Cl, it can be Br and it can be iodine. Okay, so usually it will be, most of the time you can consider Cl, Br and I here. Okay, so what is R? R can be any organic part. It can be simple CH3 or it can be C2H5 group or it can be any complicative or branched group. Okay, so R can be any organic part and X can be any halogen, right? Okay, so now here let me try to prepare ethane here. If I have to prepare ethane, I need to take this particular alkyl halide, CH3, CH2, Br. Okay, so I can take Br here or I can take Cl or I can take iodine also. Clear? Fine. So now this one, when you treat it with a base, okay, so this is an alkyl halide. So this is an alkyl halide. So this alkyl halide, when you treat with a base, you will actually get alkene. You will get alkene. So this is a basic reaction, guys. So this reaction, I'm going to show you how this is taking place. Okay, so I'll show this with along with the mechanism so that you can understand in a better way. Fine. See, first thing you will have to know is the type of carbon. See, to this carbon, Br is directly attached. Br is like a substituent group. It is like some special group. To whichever carbon the substituent group is attached or functional group attached, then that carbon is called alpha carbon. The next carbon which is there to alpha is called as beta carbon. Okay, the first carbon, which one do you call it as the first carbon? The carbon to which halogen is directly attached. That is called alpha. The next carbon is beta. Okay, so this reaction takes place only if you have a beta carbon and a beta hydrogen. Okay, the hydrogens present with this carbon is called beta hydrogen. Okay, so remember a point that, okay, this is only possible if we have beta hydrogens. Okay, if an alkyl halide does not have beta hydrogen, then this reaction is not possible. Okay, for example, you see here CH3, 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 CH2Br. Okay, so can I use this particular alkyl halide to prepare alkene, a particular alkene? No. Why? Because you see, this carbon is called alpha, this carbon is called beta. Do you have any beta hydrogen? No, right? So this particular alkyl halide do not undergo this kind of reaction. Okay, fine. So I'll tell you why actually we need beta hydrogen here. So if you look at the mechanism, okay, let me tell you or explain the reaction along with mechanism. I'll take that. So I'll write beta hydrogens properly. I'll elaborate and write. So this is alpha carbon, we all know, and this is Br. Okay. So what we have used in a reaction is base. Okay, so as a base, you can use alcoholic NaOH or alcoholic, potassium hydroxide. Okay, so second point that you need to remember is, as a base, you can use alcoholic NaOH or potassium hydroxide. So any strong base you can use it here. So what will a base do? Base actually abstracts proton. That means base takes one proton. Okay, which proton base can take? Beta hydrogen always, can go out easily. So base can abstract any one of the beta hydrogen. So there are three beta hydrogen. This is beta carbon, isn't it? There are three beta hydrogen. So one of the beta hydrogen is taken by a base. This bond is there. Now this bond will move on to carbon. Okay. Only proton is gone. That means hydrogen is gone. Hydrogen will go in the form of proton. Okay. So that proton is abstracted or taken away by base. So that whatever bond is there between carbon and hydrogen, that bond will get shifted onto carbon. So what do you get in the next step? C, and this C has two hydrogens as it is. So on C you have a negative charge now. So CH2Br, right? So this is what the intermediate you will get. Okay. And now this negative charge will get shifted here. This Br comes outside. Br is the best living group. So actually, if iodine is there, that will be the best living group, okay, compared to Br. Br is the best living group compared to Cl. Clear? So in the next step, what do you get? CH2. So whenever this charge moves on to this bond, you will get a double bond and CH2. So this is how you got alkene here. So ethene is formed by this particular mechanism. Okay, so base initially it is abstracting proton. Okay, the bond is shifted on to beta carbon so that a negative charge is formed on beta carbon. Now the charge moves here, automatically one of the group must come out now. So halogen is the best living group, so it will come out. That way you will get alkene. Okay, so this is what we call dehydrohalogenation. We can also call this reaction as dehydrohalogenation. So why do we call it as dehydrohalogenation here? Because we are removing, you can observe, removal of one hydrogen atom and one Br atom, that is halogen atom. You are removing one hydrogen atom and you are removing one halogen atom. D means what? Removal. So that is the reason we call this as dehydrogenation. Okay, and we can also call this reaction as β-Elimination. Β-Elimination. So this is another word for this reaction. Why do we call it as β-Elimination? Because we are removing beta hydrogen. We are eliminating beta hydrogen. Okay, so that is the reason it can be called as β-Elimination. Okay, so now let us try to write the product for this particular alkene that you have. CH3, CH3. Okay, for this Br is there, and I have used alcoholic NaOH. So can you be able to write the product? You can pause the video and try yourself and later check it with the answer. See here, this is alpha carbon and this is beta. This is also beta, this is also beta. Actually, there are 3 beta carbons. All the beta carbons have hydrogens. So there are beta hydrogens. How many are there? 3 plus 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Any one hydrogen you can remove. You can remove either beta hydrogen of this group, or you can remove hydrogen of this group, or you can remove hydrogen of this group. Now I will remove hydrogen of this group. So you can guess. So I am removing one of this hydrogen and this Br. So that where is the double bond formed? Double bond is always formed between alpha and beta. Even without doing a mechanism, you can actually guess this way. This is the easy way of writing product. Okay. So one beta hydrogen you are removing, and between alpha and beta, ultimately double bond will get formed. So what is the product here? So one hydrogen I removed here. So this fellow is there as CH2. And there is a double bond between this carbon and this carbon. So this carbon has this group as it is and this group as it is. So this is what the alkene you will get. So what is the name of alkene here? So this is carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, right? So this will be 2-methyl propene, right? So 2-methyl propene you will get here. Okay, so this is all about dehydrohalogenation reaction or β-Elimination. So to observe this reaction, you must definitely have beta hydrogen. So when you remove hydrogen from beta carbon and halogen, you will always get a double bond between alpha and beta carbon. Alpha is the carbon, first carbon to which halogen is attached. Beta is the next carbon to alpha. Okay, so this is how you can predict and write the product. And now let's go for third method. See, coming to third method, that is from Vicinal Dihalides. So you must understand what do you mean by Vicinal Dihalides here. See, dihalides in the sense 2 halogen atoms are there in a molecule. They are just like alkyl halides, not just like, they are actually alkyl halides, where 2 halogen atoms are there on adjacent carbon. Okay, so 2 halogen atoms present on adjacent carbons. Adjacent carbon is called, vicinal dihalide. For example, you see this CH2Br, CH2Br. So Br is the halogen atom there at first carbon and another Br is there at second carbon. So the carbons which are side to side, on them halogen atoms are present. right? So two halogen atoms, so dihalides. Okay, vicinal means what? Adjacent. Okay, side to side. So from these compounds we can always prepare alkenes. So here from such compounds, if you want to prepare alkenes, we have to use a reducing agent which is nothing but zinc. Okay, so this is how you can prepare alkenes from vicinal dihalides actually. Let's go for an example. Let me take the same example. CH2 Br, I'll write like this. CH2, this Br, I'll write like this. Okay, so I have heated this in presence of zinc. Here zinc is a reducing agent. So what is the work of reducing agent? It can remove electronegative element. So Br is electronegative. This Br is also electronegative. So both of them will come out with zinc. So what is remaining? CH2. CH2. Say to satisfy their valency, you should put a double bond. Right? So this is how you will get ethene here. And what is the byproduct? ZnBr2 is the byproduct. Okay, so this is how bromine atoms or halogen atoms, the two halogen atoms will come out with zinc, forming ethene or any alkene. Okay, so this is how you can prepare what is that? Alkenes from vicinal dihalides. Clear? And coming to our fourth method, that is from alcohols. You can also prepare alkenes from alcohols. Okay, so this is just like the second method that we studied. So what did we do there? Beta hydrogen we removed, along with that halogen we have removed, isn't it? Similarly, when we take alcohol, let me take CH3, CH2OH. Okay, so this is alpha carbon. Carbon to which functional group is attached is called alpha carbon, and this is our beta carbon. So here also the same point that you have to remember, you should definitely have beta hydrogen here. Okay, so beta hydrogen must be present. It must be present. Okay, so only then reaction takes place. So you will actually remove one of the beta hydrogen. Let me write it here. So let me write the points here. You are removing one beta hydrogen and OH group. Okay, so both of them will come out as water molecule here. Okay, so ultimately from this alcohol I am removing water. So how do you remove water? This is one OH you are removing. Alcohol will definitely have OH group. So that OH group you are removing along with beta hydrogen. One beta hydrogen. You actually have three beta hydrogens here. One beta hydrogen you are removing. So if you remove one beta hydrogen and this alcohol, what is the product that you get? What is remaining here? CH2. And what is there here? CH2. So to balance this, and to balance the valency of both carbons, we'll introduce double bond. Right? Plus water. So this is what the reaction takes place. Okay. And when you are removing water, somebody must be there to help for the removal of water. Actually, its mechanism you will learn it in second year. Okay. So here we have to use dehydrating agent. This reaction can take place only in presence of dehydrating agent. So the best dehydrating agent that we use is concentrated H2SO4. We can use concentrated H2SO4. So I'm not showing you the mechanism what exactly happens here, that you will learn it in 12th chemistry. Okay, so just giving an idea how you can remove water from alcohol. So one OH you are removing and one hydrogen you will have to remove. Which hydrogen you will touch here? Beta hydrogen. So definitely if you want to produce alkene from alcohol, you should definitely have beta hydrogen in a molecule. Okay, fine. And another thing is, always it is not that concentrated sulfuric acid that acts as dehydrating agent. You have other dehydrating agents also, like alumina, Al2O3 is a dehydrating agent. Then ZnCl2 you can use, or you can also use phosphoric acid, H3PO4. Okay, so all these can act as dehydrating agents only. But concentrated H2SO4 is a very strong dehydrating agent. Usually these are mild, ZnCl2 and H3PO4 is mild dehydrating agent. So what is the meaning of the word dehydrating agent? It is that reagent that helps for the removal of water. Okay, so this is how water can be removed from alcohol to get alkene. So when you take, what is the alcohol that you take, that you have taken here? Ethyl alcohol, right? Ethyl alcohol, or in other words we can say it as ethanol. So ethanol, from ethanol you removed water, you had got which alkene? You had got ethene. Okay, so this is what we mean by this reaction is called as dehydration reaction, because we are removing water, right? So it is dehydration reaction. Okay, dehydration of alcohols always gives you alkene. Clear? So these are the different preparation methods that we use to prepare alkenes. So with this, I complete the session, revise the concept, and meet you all with the next session, where I will deal with chemical properties of alkene. Chemical properties of alkene is the most very important topic that you need to concentrate. So I'll be explaining each and every chemical property along with mechanism, so that you will get complete clarity. So do watch my next video, don't forget, because definitely your basics will get cleared, and you will definitely have certain level of confidence if you can watch that video on chemical properties of alkene. Very important. Thank you so much guys. Meet you all in the next video. All the best.